So I was petting Payday today. Petting big banks, getting money. What am I doing? This is a post commentary sort of filming, if you know what I mean. So after, it's like after you fap, you take the fapkin and you're like, so this is what happened. Sometimes. So now I get to revisit and overlook my own past idiocy, and I get to laugh at myself and cringe. Well, I guess loading took a while too. There's some slowish. Speaking of loading, so the other day I went to go eat at a restaurant, right? And then this was like, it was sort of, it wasn't really a low end restaurant, but it wasn't really a high. It was a middle class restaurant. So then I go into the restaurant and I'm like, hi, and then I sit down and then waiter's like, hello, and then and I sit down, and then I'm pretty hungry, but that day, I don't know, I felt like a soup, because sometimes I'm like a soup guy. You go into the kitchen, you get a soup, if you know what I mean. So then I was like, I felt like a soup, and I was like, hey, give me the menu, please. And he's like, oh yes, of course. And so he gets me the menu, and then I go straight to the soup section, and then he's just standing over me, like looking over my shoulder, like it's hurry the fuck up. But I'm gonna take my time. So then he's looking, and I'm looking at the menu, and then you got some pretty standard soups. So then there was like you got a cream broccoli, and I was like, oh, I could be good. And got the cream of mushroom, and I was like, oh, that could be good too. So then I keep looking, and then it has something that was like cream of cheese. I was like, oh, that's unusual, but I haven't not heard of that one before. So there was that. And then and I keep looking, and then there's one thing that says like cream of cream, and I was like, okay, this is a typo. So what was cream of cream? And so I look up at the waiter, and then he's getting sort of impatient because I'm taking so fucking long. So I look at him, and I was like, excuse me, sir, what is the cream of cream? And this guy he looks like I just insulted his entire clan. I pet all of their horns simultaneously, and he just looks at me, and then his brows furrow, his temples crease, his eyes turn cold, the corners of his lips curl down, and then he starts like emitting like a weird low growl. And so he looks at me and he says like, but sir, have you never had the cream of cream? And I'm just like, no, that's why I'm asking about it. And he's like, oh, if you really do not know, then look at what the person beside you is eating. And I was like, oh, what the hell is he talking about? And so I look beside me, and then like there's a dude there with his wife, I guess. There's this like, oh yeah, check this out, by the way. He opened this door, and there's an angry black man. Oh, he's dead now though. Anyways, what was that? So I look over at this man's bowl of food, and it's just like a bowl of cream, not even like whipped cream, like that thick, heavy, milky dairy cream. And I was just like, what the hell? And then the guy's just like eating it by the mouthful, and then he's looking like really, he's eating it like really slowly. Like, I doubt anyone can eat that like really quickly. And he's eating it, and then I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just a bowl of cream. And so I don't say anything though, because this guy is looking pretty fed up with me. And then so I keep looking, and then I'm looking, and then it says underneath that it says cream of milk. And I'm like, I don't even want to fucking ask what this one is, because if he gives me an expression for asking cream of cream, I don't even. You might just snap and kill me if I ask him over this one. So I just shut the fuck up. And by this point, he's like looking at me like so impatiently. He's tapping his foot. He's like exhaling like a little bitch, like when they're like. So he's making sounds like that. And then so I keep looking, and then I find like underneath that, usually like menus have like things that, you know, they got the name of the dish and then they got what's in the dish, because not everybody knows what every single dish is. So then, but this one, you know, is just the names, which is why I asked for fucking cream of cream. And so I asked this man, oh, I killed a civilian. Anyways, so I asked this man, like, what is this one? Like, underneath cream of milk, it said English surprise, and I asked him, well, what is this English surprise? And he looks at me, and he's just like he looks like, not only did I insult his clan, like I slit his dog's throat in front of him or something. That's a terrible thing to do, but I didn't do that. So, but he gives me the look like I did, and he just looks at me. He's like, have you never had English surprise? I was like, no, that's why I'm asking you. And then so he says, maybe if you don't know what it is, maybe you should just order it. And I was like, what is this guy? And so I was like, you know what, fine. If you think it's so good, like, I'm gonna order it. And it was like 20 pesos. So it was some cheap shit. I was like, well, what is this? And so I get the I get the English surprise, and when I said I was gonna order it, then his whole face lit up, like I suddenly like gave birth to the dog that I killed or something, and he's just like, he's so happy, and he runs off he skips off to the kitchen. I'm like, what is this? If people can be so happy just by ordering a dish, you know, we'd have world peace by now. But anyway, so I'm just sitting there. And then I'm looking over at the other people in the restaurant, and then there's only 3 other people, like, apart from me. There's like the dude eating the bowl of cream, and he's looking like really bloated by now. Like, he's looking like, oh god, I made a grave mistake ordering this thing. And then, like, you know, he's eating really slowly. He's like slowly sort of chewing. You can even chew cream. And then his wife, or whoever is beside him, is like a female. You know, she was eating like a nice steak dinner. It was a very large piece of steak, and, you know, she was eating with great gusto, you know, fucking shoveling that stuff in. And then on the other corner of the room, there's a man, like, it's like eating like a dog or something. I don't even know what he was eating. It was some big piece of meat. I don't even know. I don't know. Let's not talk about him. So then the guy comes back to me, and then, you know, he's got a lid on the thing, and I'm like, oh, what is this? And he's like, but this is English surprise. And I was like, okay. And so I'm really, you know, when those restaurants put the lids on their food for like extra to like hype up the dish, and I'm like, oh wow, I got a lot of hype, I got a lot of anticipation, and then when he takes it off, and then there's like this mist that sort of dissipates once he takes it off, and then like and then the aroma just hits you like a bomb, and I'm like, oh god, like it smelled really weird. And I was like, I guess that's why they call it the English surprise. Not sure why they call it English though. But then I looked at it, and then it was green, and I was like, you know, a lot of green things are good. You know, broccoli's good. Cream of broccoli's good. The green Power Ranger is pretty good. So I look at this dish, and it's green, man. And then he just sets it in front of me, and he's like, I just look at it, and I'm just smelling it because I've never seen this before. And then so I start to sniff it, and then it just hits me. I'm like, what does this smell like? And I realized it smelled like popcorn. So it smelled like popcorn. It smelled like Mountain Dew, and it smelled like that thing, like that. What is that thing called? Like bugles? Those things that you put on like little cones on the end of your fingers, so you can eat them like a peasant. And then, so it smelled like that, and then I was just like, what? Okay, all right. And then I sort of like, you know, and then just something else in the smell of there, and then you know, the guy stopped smiling at me like he's like, oh, this secret ingredient, this guy will never guess what it is. So I'm trying to guess what it is, and then I can't do it though, and then it's very familiar, but then I'm like, what does this smell? So I you know, I asked him, I'm like, what does this smell? Like, what am I sniffing right here? And then he just like has this fucking smug ass smile, like, ooh, like it, you know the people, like, sometimes when people smile, like, it's so smug that you look at it and you just wanna punch their face in. But, you know, I was already really hungry. The guy had me waiting for like an hour to bring a single bowl of soup. It wasn't even that big. And then like And then I asked him, I was like, what is this? And he gives you a smug smile. So I had no energy to, like, you know, punch his face in. But, you know, I wasn't going to, because I'm a nice guy. But you know, I felt like it because he gave a really smug face. But then, you know, so I asked him, like, what it was, and then he just gives me a smug face, and he's like, well, sir, I believe the word is cranberries. And I'm like, damn, he was right. It is cranberries. So it was like, you know, it's not even like cranberries. It's like craisins, like the smell of craisins. Like, you know, when you open the pack and you're like, oh, it's like that smell of craisins. So I'm like, what on earth? And then, like, I think about it. I'm like, wow, it really is craisins. Because I look inside the bowl of soup, and there it is, like little specks of like reddish black in the green. And I'm like, wow, this guy really went all out with this dish. So I you know, I look at it, and then this guy, and oh god, I'm getting wrecked here. Anyway, so I'm looking at this guy, and then you know, I'm expecting, he didn't give me any utensils, so I'm like, sorry, could I have like a spoon or something? And like, again, this guy looks like I just insulted his grandmother or something, and he just looks at me and he's like, we do not use spoons here, sir, but if you so insist, I will try and get you one. And I'm like, thank you. And then so he goes off, but I'm really hungry, so I just like, you know, I you know, my fingers are very clean, you know, I'm a clean person, so I dip my finger in the soup, and then I like it, so see what it tastes. And then, you know, immediately my tongue goes numb, but you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you know, it really invigorated me, if anything. So I felt really, didn't feel as starving as I was before anyways. Maybe I was just too hungry, because it actually tasted pretty good. And so, you know, I drank a cup of water, and feeling returned to my tongue. And so, you know, I kept actually I didn't keep doing that because I didn't want to look like a peasant. So I did that, and then I waited, and the waiter came back, and he came back, he's like, sorry sir, and he has this like handkerchief. It's like something folded up in a handkerchief, you know, like in his hands, and he's like, oh, sorry sir, we do not have any spoons, so please take this instead. And he unwraps the handkerchief, and it's a fork. He gave me a freaking fork. So you know, I was just like, okay, thank you very much. And I just used the fork, and then, you know, I'm just eating literally the soup drop by drop as it sort of condenses onto the tines of the fork. And so I'm just eating this, and I don't even care because I'm hungry. And so I started eating this, and you know, it's the English surprise, and every time I eat it, it's a whole new surprise for my taste buds. And then later on, like, I've been eating it for a while, you know, it's drop by drop. And then the waiter comes back, and then he's like, excuse me sir, I'm very sorry, but would you mind, due to the all these people in the restaurant, due to space problems, would you mind having another person sit and dine with you? And I was like, what's this guy? And I look around the restaurant. There's like, you know, it's not a big restaurant. It's not a big restaurant, but you know, apart from me and those 3 other people, like, the restaurant is empty. There's like 5 tables, and I just look at this guy, but he looks like so sincere, and I don't know what sort of mess I've gotten myself into. So I'm like, you know what, fine, why not? And so I just, you know, I keep eating, and then I look, you know, sometimes occasionally I look to the other people. I look to the guy beside me, and he's almost done his cream of cream, but he looks like really sick. He just looks like he's gonna throw up. And then, oh look, I finished the mission.